Hello everyone, Luke Reimer of FlurrySports back at it again to give you another video that we're going to make money off of. We're going to win some money um, with this video. As you can tell by the description, the video is my week one survivor pool picks. So let me take you back a little bit here. I've been with FlurrySports for about 5 years now. One of the hallmarks of me being here has been my survivor picks. Those of you who don't know, a survivor pool, you take a winner to win an NFL game each week. The caveat being is you cannot take the same team more than once in a season. For example, the Packers Lions game. If you take the Packers to win, you cannot take the Packers anywhere else down the line for the rest of the season. Obviously, everyone in your pool will take one. As teams lose, who others thought were going to win, um, they end up obviously, working itself out where it all comes down to a couple people left, and you're going to be one of those people if you watch these videos and if you read my articles. It's another thing. These have always been in an article format. That will continue to be the same, but we're trying video this year. Just see what works. We're going to ride a wave here. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. If it works, great, awesome. And then one last housekeeping tip here. For those who don't know, if you haven't read my articles in the past, I'll give you 3 picks each week. I'll give you a lock. That's the one that I'm taking. That's the one that I think you should take. That's if I'm giving a recommendation, which I am, that is the pick that you should be taking based off of my analysis, based off of what you see, based off of what I see, based off of the team's performance, their recent performance, their expected upcoming performances, their schedule as a whole, the players they have on the team, et cetera, et cetera. Then I'm going to give you a value pick. Maybe it's a little lesser a team that has a good matchup. So if it's a team you're not fully confident in, you don't really know if whenever you would take them, they're never really going to be a lock in your mind. If they play a bad team, that would be the area for a value pick. Then I'm going to give you high risk, high reward one. So this is going to be a bad team with a great matchup. As you can tell, high risk, high reward. I mean, if we're picking, if we're picking the Saints, that's obviously a high risk, right? They're not one of the better teams in the league. But if they win, it's a great reward. You're probably the only one who's going to take the Saints, which means that if they win, you are safe and nobody else is guaranteed to be safe, which is always the strategy to win a survivor pool, right? You want the guarantee to be safe. You don't want anyone else to be safe. With that being said, let's get right into it. Week one, survivor pool picks from yours truly, Luke Reimer, presented by FlurrySports. So we're going to get right into it, which is really nice with Yahoo Sports giving you all of the money line favorites this week. So looking at it, there's a lot of teams that are intriguing right away for our lock of the week, right? We have the Broncos, who are big, heavy favorites of the Titans, which makes sense, right? Titans are, coming off a number one pick, rookie quarterback. There's probably some time to gel there. I like the Broncos. I don't necessarily know that I like them for the pick because I think I want to use the Broncos a little bit later down the line. Same here with the Eagles. Now, Cardinals, I imagine, are going to be a very popular pick in your pool, right? The Cardinals are kind of one of those teams that people don't really have an idea of what they're going to be. They're not really among the elite. They're not really among the worst teams in the league. They're kind of in that middle ground. So the matchup against the New Orleans Saints, who may be the worst team in the league this week, this seems like an ideal spot to take a team like the Cardinals. They're going to be my value pick. They are not my lock of the week. While I like the Arizona Cardinals in this game, there is one team that I'm looking at that I think, just looking at their schedule moving forward, there's not much I love. And their first week one matchup here, I think, is one that you can really get behind and ride them. That team in question is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals are a team that have a lot of expectations from a lot of people, whether they be good or bad, right? They went out and they paid their disgruntled. I don't know if disgruntled is the word, but they paid their star pass rusher Trey Hendrickson, right? He's back in town. You're getting Joe Burrow. You're getting Jamar Chase. You're getting T. Higgins. You're getting Chase Brown. That's one of the better offenses, right? Just off of skill players alone. I think what kind of hurts the Bengals is they don't really have much of a defense, right? They don't really have much of an offensive line. The one thing that we do know about the Bengals coming into this week is that they're healthy. Joe Burrow is healthy. I don't know if that can be said for the rest of the year. Jamar Chase is healthy. T. Higgins is healthy. Chase Brown is healthy. Trey Hendrickson is healthy. Luckily for them, they're going up against the Cleveland Browns this week, who, a lot like the Saints, maybe one of the worst teams in the NFL. The Browns have a lot of dysfunction. Um, with Joe Flacco at quarterback and with still question marks rolling around the running back room, um, it seems very difficult that they're going to be able to keep up the Cincinnati Bengals offense, given that really their only receiving weapons, right, are Jerry Judy and David Njoku. There's nothing that really scares you on the defensive side. So the Bengals seem like a really good pick to me here. If we take a look at their schedule, let me pull it up here. The Bengals. So looking forward, the Bengals. When else are you going to take the Bengals? Are you going to take them against the Jaguars? Maybe. Are you going to take them against the Vikings? No. Are you going to take them against the Broncos? No. Are you going to take them against the Lions? No. Are you going to take them against the Packers? No. Are you going to take them against the Steelers? No. Are you going to take them against the Jets? Maybe. Are you going to take them against the Bears? No. Are you going to take them against the Steelers? No. Are you going to take them against the Patriots? No. Are you going to take them against the Ravens? No. Are you going to take them against the Bills? No. Are you going to take them against the Ravens? No. Are you going to take them against the Dolphins? Probably not. Are you going to take them against the Cardinals? No. And then are you going to take them against the Browns? If you were to make it that far, maybe. The whole issue that you can see is the Bengals have a pretty tough schedule this year, against an AFC East and an NFC North, who are two solid divisions. Right now seems like the time where the Bengals are perfectly healthy. The schedule plays in their favor. This is my lock of the week. Cincinnati Bengals. Chalk it up. As we previously talked about as well, Arizona Cardinals, I think that's fine for a value pick. If you go lock of the week, I'm not going to get mad at you. Um, they're going to be my value pick, just given the idea that I think the Cardinals may be a little bit better than people think. I think their run game is actually quite good. I think their defensive line is all right. I think the Cardinals moving forward could be favored in some more games than what the Cincinnati Bengals are. So I'm fine doing Cardinals. They're playing the Saints, right? On the paper, the Cardinals are a better team. They should win this game. Saints are going to have a lot of, frustrating moments, a lot of dysfunction, a lot of things that you do not want to see as a fan, which plays perfectly into the Arizona Cardinals. And for my lock of the week, so lock of the week, kind of an interesting one. Or not my lock of the week. My high risk, high reward of the week. This is kind of an interesting one. I'm looking at the teams as we go down the list. The Jacksonville Jaguars instantly stick out to me. Patriots, maybe. Packers, no. Rams, no. 49ers, no. Buccaneers, no. Vikings, no. Colts, no. The high risk, high reward of the week has to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. One minus 160 money line. It's hard to argue with against a Carolina Panther team who still are kind of in a little bit of transition period, right? We saw some good things out of Bryce Young last year, um, but they get rid of Adam Thielen and Hunter Renfrow. I get Hunter Renfrow comes back, but there's not really much on that Carolina offense that really scares you. Jacksonville brings in one of the best playmakers that we've ever seen coming to the draft with Travis Hunter. It sounds like he's going to play offense, but whether he plays offense or defense, his name is going to be out there. He's going to make a name. Jacksonville feels like they're a little bit more along than Carolina is, and in order for the whole Trevor Lawrence, Liam Cohn thing to really get off the ground moving here, it kind of feels like they need to win right away. And what better win to get than to beat up on the Carolina Panthers? They've kind of been the laughing stock of the NFL over the last couple of years. I think this is kind of a statement game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not that I think that they're a great team, but I think this is one where they don't get a lot of credit, and maybe rightfully so, but they don't get a lot of credit. And this is one to say, hey, we're still here. We're here. We have our quarterback. We have our receivers. We have Travis Hunter. We can win games, and we can, at least beat the teams that are worse than us. So I think that's where the Jaguars come into play here. Those are my 3 picks of the week. Let me know who you take as your lock of the week. Follow along. I will be giving out my lock of the week every single week. 4 years ago, went 17-0. We are still chasing that high. We will get back there this week. Lock of the week, Cincinnati Bengals. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and let's win some money this year. Thanks, guys.
Fuck yeah!